Hey guys, it's Tim Guitar. Today I got a new pedal. We're going to try out the Mooer Black Secret.
The Mooer Black Secret captures the sound of the famous 80s Rat distortion pedal in a micro-sized package. Black Secret features two modes for extra flexibility. Vintage gives you warm, smooth distortion, while Turbo takes it over the top with more than twice the maximum output of the Vintage mode. Like the Classic, this Black Secret uses the LM308 chip.
I have the Mooer Black Secret installed on the pedal board here. We're going to just play through it. We're going to show you how the different adjustments affect the sound without really playing anything right now. I'm just gonna palm mute the top E string and and move the distortion around, move the filter, and move the level knob around on the different settings. So we have a vintage setting, we have a turbo setting, we have a filter mode, we have a level mode, and a distortion. We're going to go ahead and get this thing going, and just so you can hear how it sounds. This is being played on the Warmoth Jazzmaster. It's a single pickup guitar with a EMG 81X active pickup, playing through the Fender PA 75 watt head with 4 EL34s. Mesa tubes. Alright, so here's how it sounds on the clean channel. And here is the Black Secret. With distortion all the way down, we're on the vintage setting. We have level at the halfway point and the filter at the halfway point. Here's how it sounds. We'll go up on the distortion. You can hear it breaking up pretty bad when the level or the distortion is all the way up at lower levels. But once we turn the level up, now this is the level at the 3 o'clock position, nearly 75% of the way up, with the filter still at middle. And here's how it sounds. That's the vintage mode. You can hear it breaking up a bit when I got into full distortion, full level, and with the filter about 25% of the way up. A lot of that kind of broken up sound. Sounds kind of cool. It's very muddy, very fuzzy sounding. Now what we're going to do is we're going into turbo mode. Turbo mode is the increased I guess you could say like boost mode, and we'll play through those same features. Okay, turbo mode is clicking when we click down. I'm going to bring the level back to 0, filter back to 0, distortion back to 0, and we'll have nothing there. So level, we'll start to bring that up. about halfway up now. No distortion. That was turbo mode. You could tell that definitely has a lot more kick. I can't tell that big of a difference from the sound, besides it being like boosted with the turbo mode versus the vintage mode. That's just me, but it just sounds to me like the turbo mode is a higher, just has like a higher boost, not so much more of a higher gain. I still hear a lot of that broken up sound coming out of the amp. That's how the pedal itself sounds. That's your levels of adjustability right there. Next thing we'll do is just get it back in, play a few riffs, hear how it sounds in a song, see if it's clear, see if that broken up sound that it was giving us is too much, or if it's just the right combo for something that's heavy with a lot of palm muting and chugging. We're just gonna play a little bit of riff. We're gonna riff a bit with the Black Secret pedal here. See how it sounds. This is in turbo mode. We'll play a couple riffs, we'll play a couple in vintage, hear how it sounds when you're playing some songs. And I may end up adjusting this for a little bit of clarity here and there, but I'll end up playing the same riff through the entire song. All right. that is the turbo mode. I was noticing quite a bit of what sounded like quite a bit of like speaker breakup. It almost sounded like a busted speaker. I think that's more so from the pedal being pushed through the tube amp. I did have it at pretty high distortion throughout that little segment right there, and I had the level nearly up to about 80-90% here, and the filter bringing in as many of the highs as possible. Even with distortion backed down roughly till about 11 o'clock here on the pedal now, still seemed to be pretty muddy. I had a hard time kind of picking out the sounds of the riff I was playing. So for me, I think this pedal does give you some really good grit. It gives you a lot of good, like, muddy sounding kind of fuzz effect with the boost built in, which gives you a bit higher of a, I don't want to say gain, but it gives you more decibels. So really just kind of a boost to the sound there. Vintage, I think, sounds pretty much the same. I'm going to click it over to Vintage now and play the same riff just a few times and hear how that's different from the turbo mode. There we go. Turn this up. That's sounding actually sounds a lot better than I think the turbo mode did. So let's turn up the level on the vintage mode. Let's turn the filter all the way so we're picking up as many highs as possible. We'll play that riff again, leaving distortion at roughly the 11 o'clock position. Okay. All right, I really liked how the vintage mode brought out the highs and the little notes of that riff. I think turbo mode muddied it up too much. It just gave that speaker that really hot and broken up sound, to which the riff that I was playing was not so great sounding. But turning it back to vintage mode, it seems to clear up the sound of this pedal a bit more. And I had taken the distortion level from about 11 o'clock up till about noon, and that seemed to be the happy spot for this type of riff in a dropped tuning and with the with the tube amp. So I think I like the way that sounded at noon with the level. I had the level cranked all the way up and the filter turned all the way down to let's say 1. I think that's where I got the best sound out of this pedal. That's the Mooer Black Secret. Pretty cool little pedal. Packs a lot of punch into a little tiny mini pedal. Check it out. It's pretty cheap too. Ton of good reviews on Amazon and not bad sounding. So if you think that's for you, give it a shot. I'm Tim Guitar, and I'll see you next time.